Most people believe eating before exercise is mandatory for safety, strength, and effective performance. Training without food feels dangerous because decades of advice framed fasting as weakness physiological. This fear triggers anxiety before workouts, reducing confidence and reinforcing dependence on constant feeding. Cultural messaging equates fuel timing with immediate energy, ignoring basic human physiology principles fundamentally. As a result, many avoid fasted exercise, assuming it inevitably leads to weakness physically. These beliefs persist despite biological systems designed to support movement without constant intake externally. Understanding this misconception is essential before exploring what actually happens during fasted training sessions. Food consumed before training does not become immediate, usable energy for working muscles. Digestion, absorption, and transport of nutrients require several hours, not minutes, to complete. Pre-workout meals primarily affect future energy availability rather than current exercise performance. The sensation of energy after eating comes from hormones, not freshly absorbed calories. Insulin and dopamine responses create perceived readiness without directly fueling muscle contraction. This illusion reinforces the belief that food immediately powers exercise sessions. In reality, the body relies on energy stored long before the workout begins. Exercise is fueled primarily by stored glycogen and body fat reserves accumulated earlier on. These energy reserves were built over days and weeks before the workout session itself. Muscle glycogen provides quick energy while fat supplies longer-lasting fuel during exercise bouts. The liver also contributes glucose to maintain blood sugar during sustained activity levels appropriately. None of this energy comes directly from food eaten immediately beforehand before training sessions. Stored fuels ensure performance even when no calories enter the body recently during exercise. Recognizing this source of energy reframes how fasted exercise is understood by many people. The body relies on two primary fuel systems, glycogen and fat, during exercise sessions periods. Glycogen provides fast energy for high-intensity efforts, but storage capacity is limited within muscles. Fat represents an abundant energy reserve, capable of fueling prolonged, low-intensity movement across activities. The body preferentially uses glycogen because it is easier to access quickly during exercise bouts. Fat oxidation requires specific hormonal conditions and time to increase efficiently during physical activity sessions. Training state feeding patterns and intensity determine which fuel dominates during workouts most of time. Understanding these systems explains why fasted exercise changes fuel selection dynamics within the human body. As long as glycogen remains available, the body minimizes fat use during exercise sessions. Glycogen is metabolically convenient, requiring fewer steps than mobilizing fat for energy during exercise. Frequent eating constantly refills glycogen, reducing the need to access fat reserves during exercise. This pattern trains metabolism to prefer carbohydrates while neglecting efficient fat oxidation during exercise. Over time, reliance on easy fuel reduces metabolic flexibility and fat-burning capacity overall. The body simply follows efficiency rules, choosing fuels requiring least immediate effort during exercise. Understanding this principle clarifies why fasting alters fuel selection during training sessions significantly overall. After 12 to 16 hours of fasting, glycogen availability begins declining significantly within muscles. As glycogen drops, the body senses scarcity and shifts toward alternative energy sources naturally. Fatty acids and ketones gradually increase, supplying muscles and brain with steady fuel during exercise. This adaptation preserves performance while reducing dependence on frequent carbohydrate intake during exercise sessions. The metabolic shift feels uncomfortable initially, but stabilizes as fat pathways activate efficiently gradually. Training in this state teaches the body to rely less on glycogen during exercise. This transition explains why fasting duration matters for effective fat utilization during exercise periods. A healthy metabolism switches smoothly between glycogen and fat, depending on availability and demand. Modern lifestyles reduce this flexibility through constant feeding and limited fuel variation patterns. The body becomes inefficient at burning fat when carbohydrates are always abundant. Fasted exercise retrains metabolic pathways to access fat more readily during activity. This improves energy stability and reduces dependence on frequent carbohydrate intake during workouts. Metabolic flexibility supports endurance, resilience, and long-term metabolic health beyond fat loss. Restoring this flexibility is a primary benefit of exercising in a fasted state. Insulin is primarily a storage hormone that signals the body to store energy efficiently. When insulin remains elevated, fat release from adipose tissue is strongly suppressed during exercise. Fasted exercise keeps insulin low, allowing stored fat to exit cells freely for energy. Low insulin removes the hormonal lock that prevents fat oxidation during activity in muscles. This environment favors lipolysis and sustained fatty acid delivery to working muscles during exercise. By training fasted, the body relearns how to access fat when needed efficiently again. Insulin suppression explains why fasted workouts promote fat use without extra effort during exercise. Scientific studies show fat oxidation increases during fasted aerobic exercise sessions consistently in humans. This effect occurs automatically due to hormonal conditions rather than motivation or effort alone. Lower insulin and higher catecholamines drive greater fat use during fasted movement in muscles. Research repeatedly confirms these changes are physiological responses, not psychological determination during exercise sessions. The body burns more fat because conditions favor it, not because discipline increases voluntarily. This distinction prevents confusion when evaluating fasted training benefits objectively over time properly scientifically. Fat oxidation rises as a predictable outcome of fasted exercise biology in humans overall. Fasting and exercise both increase growth hormone levels significantly within the human body naturally. Growth hormone mobilizes fat stores while preserving lean muscle tissue during physical activity sessions. This hormonal environment reduces muscle breakdown risk while supporting fat utilization during training periods. Combined fasting and exercise amplify growth hormone pulses beyond either stimulus alone during workouts. These effects help maintain strength while accelerating fat loss without compromising muscle mass integrity. Preserved muscle supports metabolic rate and functional performance throughout consistent training routines over time. This explains why fasted exercise can burn fat while protecting muscle effectively during sessions. Fasted exercise improves insulin sensitivity by increasing glucose uptake efficiency within working muscles. Muscle cells become more responsive, allowing glucose to enter with lower insulin requirements afterward. This effect reduces overall insulin exposure throughout the day following training sessions significantly. Improved sensitivity supports better blood sugar control and reduced fat storage tendencies over time. These benefits persist beyond the workout and compound with repeated fasted exercise sessions. Enhanced insulin response improves metabolic health independent of immediate weight loss outcomes. This adaptation explains why fasted training offers long-term benefits beyond calorie expenditure alone. During fasted exercise, the brain increasingly relies on ketones for steady, efficient fuel. Ketones provide stable energy without rapid fluctuations associated with glucose dependence. Fasted movement increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor supporting learning, memory, and neural resilience. Norepinephrine levels rise, improving focus, alertness, and motivation during and after exercise. This neurochemical environment enhances mental clarity rather than causing cognitive decline. Many people report sharper thinking and calm concentration following fasted training sessions. These brain benefits reinforce adherence by making fasted exercise mentally rewarding. Humans evolved to move, search, and hunt before consuming food regularly each day. Physical activity often preceded eating, requiring metabolic systems to support fasted performance naturally. The ability to move without immediate food intake was essential for survival historically. Fasted exercise reflects this ancient biological design rather than a modern fitness trend. Our metabolism retains mechanisms that support strength, endurance, and focus without recent feeding. Modern constant eating disrupts this evolutionary pattern and reduces metabolic resilience. Fasted movement reconnects the body with its original biological operating conditions. Low to moderate intensity exercise works best initially when training in a fasted state. Walking, cycling, or light jogging allow fat use without excessive stress hormone elevation. Higher intensity or resistance training requires gradual adaptation and adequate recovery strategies. Electrolyte balance, hydration, and sleep become more important during fasted training routines. Listening to fatigue, dizziness, or weakness signals prevents overreaching and unnecessary stress responses. Fasted exercise should be viewed as a flexible tool rather than a strict daily rule. Individual health, status goals, and experience determine whether fasted training is appropriate.